Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the DJ Life podcast. Once again.
We're here.
Oh, no, bump up, bump.
Oh yeah. Bow, bow, bow.
When you come up,
bow, waka.
when you come up with a new intro for 2024, everybody, send us a DM of what we should do for 20.
I really just need Birdman noises on a button.
We need to make the Drew. Have you seen Drew and Fuse's like intro to their podcast?
Mm-mm.
They like made a whole thing in Vegas, like of like them like being funny on the street and shit, and then like running.
We could do that.
You've
made
cute.
some videos before.
Oh, just wait. We're filming ads tomorrow. We're going to be Santa and the Grinch, and we're going to break the internet with Dom, you know.
Please change up your ads. Yes, thank you.
They're going to be hilarious. That's all I know.
Literally, I just dream of your fucking ads now. I can only see both lighting ads. It's like it went from the DJ's vault to crate hackers to both lighting, and now all I can see is both.
Well, that's because you like blocked all of the other ones, except you like allowed ours for a little bit now.
Yeah.
Anyways, you should honestly just block them. But
yeah. Well, all right. Let's acknowledge Anthony. Hey, Anthony.
Yo,
can you hear? My thing sounds quiet. Am I loud enough?
Yes, you're loud enough.
All right. Anthony Salas is with us tonight. Yay. If no one knows Anthony, the homie from, I know you're from California. What part of California?
Grover Beach, California, right on the beach.
Grover Beach.
Nice.
How close is that to where a place that people have heard of?
That anyone has ever heard of?
Yeah. No.
Yeah. So we're as far west as you can get. Literally, my office door opens to the beach.
Oh.
And then we're 3 hours south of San Francisco and 3 hours north of LA. So we're like the very center. Of California.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's convenient for expanding crap. Do you guys, so Anthony's a really big multi-op. Obviously, we'll kind of dive into stats and all what he's doing. But do you guys work south of where you, like, go down towards LA and even farther, or what do you?
Yeah, no, not right now. We have 2 DJs in Santa Barbara and 3 DJs in Monterey right now, and the rest of our DJs are all in the San Luis Obispo market.
It looks like we're having some kind of technical
No, we're not.
difficulties. No,
I was just messing with the shit.
yeah. All right, we're all set. Okay, cool. Yeah. So Anthony Salas, huge multi-op owner. I really like to bring on multi-op owner or just people working for big as shit multi-ops because it just puts me in my place, which I sadly need all the time.
It's true.
I do. But yeah, so Central California, multi-op. How many events do you think you guys did in 2023?
1,000-ish.
Don't you love that?
Just 1,000.
I like the matter of fact, no cracked smile or anything. If I said that, I would say this: 1,000.
With a big
I'd
smirk.
back away with I'd fix my mustache as I said it. Shine my fucking glasses. No big deal. 1,000 events. You guys are photo booths also. You guys are really like all of the above, kind of. Do you do the 360 booths and whatnot?
We do own one 360. Actually, as a matter of fact, probably about 9 years ago or so, Chris, who's our ops guy, and I went to a conference, and this company had made a 360 booth, like handmade a 360 booth before like anyone knew what they were.
Mm-hmm.
And we approached them and we said, we have to own that thing. Like, how do we get it?
Uh-huh.
They said, well, we'll make you one if you want. And we were like, awesome.
Right.
So ours cost us $9,000 to have custom built.
But hey, the first one, kind of.
And it literally sat for years. Like, we couldn't convince people at all. But now it's huge. It's probably 4.5 feet wide. It's humongous. And it was really made to show swinging patterns, baseball swinging patterns.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the company that built it for, to teach people how to play baseball.
Right.
So anyways, super random, but yeah, we had that.
I wonder where it came like where it picked up in the photo booth world, because really as I started doing photo booths, 360 booths were already being saturated. I remember people talking about it as like, oh yeah, that's already on its way out or whatever, you know what I mean, like some shit like that. We never
They're so
dabbled in
cheap now. They're so cheap.
I feel like you can charge, like, of course, like if you're one of the people that are charging a bunch for it, that's great, but like people like me, I can't charge any more for the 360 booth, and it is a million times harder, you know, so fuck that.
I mean, just purchasing one, like to purchase one is, they're cheap. You know, you can buy them anywhere. You can buy them on Amazon.
Yeah, it's the same.
It's crazy.
They're equivalent to photo booths that aren't 360. You know,
that's the one sector that's hilarious right now at wedding shows.
It's just, I mean, it's a platform with a spinning arm with a phone hook on it or an iPad hook. You know, some sort of camera hook.
I don't know if you've actually you don't go to the wedding shows as often, but when you were there, did you notice this year like how many, or even last year, you're walking around and it's just all these like two people, like mom and pop or just boyfriend girlfriend opened up a photo booth company of a 360
always.
booth.
That is always
just like there's a
what it is.
shitload of, and you know instantly it's them because you are walking through, watching them like look at the instruction manual, put it together for the first time in the booth.
Yeah,
It takes them 2 hours to set it up or something.
I feel like any photo booth competitor I have here is that. You know, it's just a chick that owns a photo booth. And that's fine. You know, great. And if you charge half of what we charge, I guess great, because you'll be booked, and then the other 3 people I could have named are going to get booked, and then we'll book everyone else for the full price. That's fine, you know? But I hate that whole race to the bottom bullshit. And it's crazy to say that because I was the cheapest person on the block. You know, I looked at our averages. Thank God for DJ Event Planner specifically, because I can do that. Our average pricing in 2018 was, drum roll, $850. Not even $1,000. Is that not fucking crazy? It was nuts. And we did almost $200,000 that year, so that's even more nuts.
But you know what? Everybody starts somewhere. So
yeah, for sure. That's
fair.
It is what it is. Like, I'm not ashamed of that. If anything, it's good to admit it, because like everyone did that. You know what I mean? Like, you see these dudes on the forums like, I wouldn't show up for less than a Bentley. I'm like, all right, dude, fuck off. You know, like I do understand that conversation. However, like you said, you got to start somewhere, you know?
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, you know, we get it all the time too, because we have a sub brand like a lot of multi-ops do that we train our DJs in, called Standard Sound. And, you know, there's the whole thought process of charging less for certain DJs. And, you know, some of the like Craigslist DJs out there just have no interest in putting $1,500 worth of effort into a wedding.
Right.
So for them to charge that for a wedding is just ludicrous. It's robbery.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, let's say it's $500 just for math's sake. I don't care about whatever. I feel like there's a box for that. There's a need for that, a $500 DJ. And I'm saying full 100%. On wedding. You know what I mean? And that fucking bride who only has $500 for a DJ, you can't shred her for that. You know what I mean? Like, because she doesn't have $1,500 for a DJ, it's not that it's not important to her. It just is what it is, you know? And thank God for the Craigslist dude in that case, you know? Yeah. Because all the Facebook 100%. Dudes are going to fucking punch her in the face for not having a big enough budget. You're not my client. Yeah.
I mean, we've all been to weddings where we were the least expensive, and then we've been to other weddings where we were the only professional there.
Right, you're the only one that got paid to show up. Same here.
So
I feel like our companies are similar in pricing bracket. You know, as for our areas compared to what we charge, I think that we are kind of similar, kind of like middle of the road. You know, premium. Like Rick would be like the expensive dude near
For
us.
Yeah.
Or Joe Bunn.
So Cooper had a question. Just he kind of wanted to know a little bit about what Anthony's inquiry process is for clients. Like, what's the flow of clients when it comes to coming into the company? Do they schedule calls? Do they do video meetings? Do they get prices up front? Do you do packages? What's the kind of process for a client coming into your company? Or
Yeah.
a lead?
So first of all, Cooper is awesome.
For sure.
Second of all, the way that our inquiry process works is even if someone calls into our office, which is pretty rare. I mean, the most people that actually call now are already clients just checking in on something. But like a cold call, like, hey, I'm calling around, is super rare. But we still send them to our website. And it's specifically for tracking purposes because we do all of our tracking based on data from DJEP. And so we want to make sure that that gets captured as a lead instead of just inputting it manually. But yeah, so our pricing is online. They can see it before they even inquire with us.
Oh, wow.
We don't get tire kickers hardly at all, which I love. And anyone who does any of our sales process loves. And once we put, it takes about a minute and a half to put an inquiry into the system. The only thing that we change in there is the venue. That's literally the only thing that has any manual input. And then they go into their trickle, and the trickle takes care of the rest. Now, within the drip system, there are options for them to set up a Zoom call through Calendly with one of our salespeople. So they do have that option if they want to, but I would say maybe 5% want to do that. Now, I should also clarify that our area is almost entirely destination weddings.
Oh, wow.
Most people, we have a college, Cal Poly, here in town, and so we have people. It's one of the best engineering schools in the country. So people come here, they meet their spouse, they fall in love, and then they go back home to wherever they're from. And then when they decide to get married, they're like, man, we got to go back to California because it was just gorgeous. And it was 72 degrees here today. So, I mean, it's perfect here all year round. So
Asheville is a wedding or a
Destination
wedding hotspot also.
yeah. Yeah. So you treat them different than even when you're at the event. Like, we don't make like a real big point of carrying cards around with us everywhere because people at that, we're not trying to generate business off of the people that are there. We're just trying to rock that one particular wedding because we're never going to see them again.
Yep.
Cooper said you have a very impressive pricing page.
So, thanks, Coop.
He's stalking you up right now.
Yeah.
So just out of curiosity, because you say you send them to their website, do you also want them to go to the website because you're retargeting them with ads on the back end?
No, we don't do any of that right now. That's a good idea, but we don't.
That was the first thing that came to mind because I met with our ad manager today. We were talking about retargeting and stuff. I was like, oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Make sure they always go to the website.
Yeah, for sure. Once you tag them with the pixel and
just
whatnot,
make sure they always go to the website.
Follows them around. You can just be like, don't fucking forget. Don't fucking forget.
And then they hate you for the rest of their life.
Exactly.
As long as they write you a paycheck, though, we're good.
Well, I'll tell you what. I know, Eric's seen my DJEP, so he knows what it's like. And we've got ours set up for 2.5 years worth of pestering. So if someone inquires 2.5 years before their wedding and does not tell us to go screw ourselves, we will continue to email them all the way. Yeah, on their wedding day, they will get an email from us.
some like bitch ass like, are you still considering this or what?
Yeah.
Did you change your mind? Are you getting married on a different date now?
Right.
Yeah.
Or some Alan Berg, like, did a bear catch you? It's like, is a bear chasing you through the woods? You're like, wow, that was a really good, funny thing to say. No, I'm getting married today.
What was it? I saw a reel today or the other day, and I sent it to our crew on Both Lighting because this guy was talking about his Shopify site, and he said his abandoned cart email subject line says "missing child." Like that's like the subject line for the abandoned cart.
And then you open it, of course.
And then you open it and it says, "Hey, you left this child in your cart or whatever to order," something like that. I was like, that's like borderline.
Those email subjects. If you've ever done like, let's try to check this open rate and like increase it by changing
the subject
line, because that's the only thing you fucking can do. God, what a hard, difficult task to do. I've tried, and also you have to, because it's like a wow factor, like missing child. Holy fuck, I'm gonna open that, of course, but you're gonna deal with people who are like, that was poor taste.
Yeah,
It's interesting because I was just helping my buddy Jeff. He drove over a couple hours from the valley over here to help him set up his DJP, and we were going through his thing just today, and I was asking around the office, like, when was the last time you guys, because some of ours are pretty sarcastic. We have one that's just got the guy from Ferris Bueller, and it's just saying Bueller, right. Bueller. You know, the GIF that just says Bueller, right. Bueller. And that's all it is. It doesn't say anything. That's the whole email.
Yeah.
And then we have another one, and it's just a picture of Eminem, and it says, "Guess who's back again." Like,
that's funny as shit.
Just obnoxious emails. But we get more people that are like, you know what, our DJ, we ended up, my DJ moved to Canada or something, and you guys kept emailing me, and it was super funny. So
here
we'd
we
like
are
to book with you guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. We should come up with a questionnaire. This is just like thinking process right now of stuff like that. Like, what's your best subject line that works in emails?
That, I mean, honestly,
that sparks a great conversation.
A good subject line is hard to come by.
What's yours?
Ours, and I don't have like hard data on this, but just on the amount of responses that we get emails back, it's just RE : and that's
the one I was going to say the same thing. It's
RE : and that's it.
Yep.
I get so many responses from that particular email.
Well, it looks like you're in a conversation, and you're like, right, what was that?
We have like 2 or 3 of those in our subject line, but it's RE : and then whatever our previous email was. Like it tries but leaving it blank's an interesting idea.
Yep.
Just RE : because then they have no fucking clue what it is.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like I said, you just want them to open it, and from there you can grab them again. But that's but yeah, I use for cold leads. I'll funny pictures of dogs with mustaches and hats and just cute, funny, weird shit. And
we do that too.
It's funny and but
the picture of the dog that says "we don't bite." We got that one too.
But no, the subject line that we use, and it's the very first one, other than just like the autoresponder, "Thanks for your inquiry," because I want it to sound that way. It says, "This is about to be so much fun," and that's not even a good subject line. I'm not saying to use that because it doesn't.
It's decent though.
It's fine. It's good. Better than just some sort
just
of like
checking in.
Yeah, like something. Yeah. Just it's something. This is about to be so much fun, and that's the one that's like, "We're available. Here's our pricing. Blah blah blah." Hoping it'll whatever. I get a decent thing on that, but also I hate it when people ask me, "Oh, what's the open rate?" or whatever, and I'm like, first, I don't know. Second, I'll go look and it'll be 30%, 40%, and they're like, "Wow, you need to increase that." How do I fucking do that? Like, "Oh, you need to work on your subject lines." Thanks, motherfucker. But like maybe some like
our Both Lighting newsletters are very impressive open rates. It's like 70 to 80%.
I need to up.
Which is so incredible.
Yeah.
Different clientele. What is it, Rick?
The Both Lighting USA company or whatever. We send a weekly newsletter on Wednesday, and like it's got a 70 to 80% open rate, which is incredible for having about 5,000-6,000 people on it.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Is the subject line like "free nudes" or something?
No, it's
I'd be clicking.
It's literally "What's up Wednesday." It's the same subject line every time. What's up Wednesday? Both letting you say like
I'd
that's
be like scrolling through all my unread emails and see like free nudes. I'm like, ooh, like open that one first, and then it's like, oh, it's just fucking lights.
You know, that's
It's like this isn't nudes at all.
there's a good idea for subject lines. Come up with free stuff that brides want, like free Starbucks or something. I don't even know. Like,
Free Starbucks, and then there's
Free
just
dress.
nothing else about Starbucks in the rest of the entire email.
no, just like a gift that says click here to
100%
claim your
easy
free
switch.
Starbucks, and it goes to your website.
You just use their address merge tag. The only subject line is their address, their home address.
That's crazy.
There was a business guy actually on Instagram that was talking about if you're in like sales for or high end business people or management sales or sales training sales for like companies and stuff, just send the subject line as in your name, phone number, mobile. That's all he puts in his. He's like that's the number one open subject line that he sends to other business professionals.
Huh.
It's just his name, phone number, mobile.
Interesting.
Well, I mean, it's, I don't know how you guys do your MC training, but like when we do our MC training, we tell our guys the number, everyone's favorite word. You guys know that? You guys do that? What is everyone's favorite word?
Fuck.
No, it's their name. That's what they like to hear the most, right?
Oh.
So everyone loves hearing their name on the microphone, right?
Right.
So it's the same thing on email. It's the same thing, their name or their date is like you put their date in the subject line and it like
Yeah.
it stands out massively.
Last call, their date. Subject line, last call, their date.
It's like, are you home? Parenthesis, home address. Close parenthesis.
Or if you put like their wedding date and then just put canceled in all like
Oh my god, that would be awesome. You'd have 100. It's like you have 105% open rate. It's like, how's that even possible? It's like, well, we opened it also.
They're forwarding that. They're forwarding it to the other people. Like, did you see this?
Yeah, it's like for every time you send it, it's 1.05 people are opening it. It's like, wow, that's so good.
I'm just thinking of ways you can actually spin that into actually being able to use it, though.
So one time go ahead.
Yeah.
I'll say in a second.
I mean, if you it would be easy to do, especially because we've got all the merge tags and stuff we can use. So if you put their venue name, their date, and then put canceled on there, and that was the subject line,
that would be,
they would crap themselves before they even opened it.
I swear to God, I'm doing that tomorrow on my opening email. I don't care. I just want to see what it does. I'll lose 45 leads just for that, just to see if it works.
Just pull out a batch of new leads and test sample.
Yeah. You can do that and keep. You can separate A, B.
Yeah, I know.
But one time, I can't remember exactly the verbiage I used, but in the email it said STFU, referring to myself. I was like, if you want, I can STFU. And obviously trying to be funny or whatever. And I got attacked. Oh my God. Some bride, I can't even remember now, but she was just like, I just can't even wrap my head around how you unprofessional and blah. I was like, all right, I'm sorry, cunt, or whatever the nice word, but like, just fuck you, dude.
Yeah,
I'm trying to be funny. I'm clearly just trying to be funny. Don't fucking prude me or Yeah. So there's a fine line, but also
Maybe you just put pending instead of canceled. Just
I like canceled. Yeah, canceled is great.
But if you put
canceled is
if you put-
canceled, no refunds. Yeah.
canceled, no refund.
Yeah. Or just, if you put the word refunded in all caps, that would be also very alarming.
I think if you put pending, then you could spin it into an email and be like, we're still on hold waiting to be your DJ or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're
We're still available.
I know our market has guys that are like super stuffy, super straight edge, and like that's that's how they talk in real life. Also, is
Right.
like all that, and that's cool. But like having that kind of stuff like STFU and having stupid gifs and memes and
It's
stuff like that's going
personality.
to
It's
draw a
like, is
different
that
kind
not
of
what you want?
clientele.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's like we're supposed to be Mr. Personality. That's exactly what I'm doing. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I like it.
yeah. But fine line. So in California, though, I mean, I'd imagine the competition there for y'all. I'm sure there's a DJ on every corner, right? I mean, it's like,
Uh, no, so we were just kind of picking out numbers the other day. There's another multi-op, a pretty big multi-op here in town, Kramer.
oh,
Oh,
you're
wow.
in,
And
yeah,
I know.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah, but aside from that, there's probably like 4 or 5 really viable single ops in our area.
wow,
And then
Well,
aside from
that's low
that,
key
it's
us too.
just kind of weekend warriors and stuff that are just kind of doing it here or there for
How
the
did you?
heck of it.
So my original question was about to be, assuming you had crazy competition, what do you think set you aside? Why do you think you got to where you are compared to what they're doing? But now my question, since the competition's not that crazy, is how did you get to this point?
Thrive.
Yeah, how did you get to this
Yeah.
How'd you
point with no
thrive?
competition?
Well, it was when I first started Epic. Like there were single ops all over the place. But to be honest, like a lot of those single ops came to us and said, "Hey, we want to be a part of this." I mean, we've absorbed, I don't know, 8 or 10 single ops in the area that have come to us and work exclusively for us and our W-2 employees of Epic Entertainment now. Um, Not because they couldn't make more doing it themselves, but a lot of it is just because first of all, they don't want to do all the back end work. They're awesome DJs. They're
Yeah.
great DJs, great personalities. They're not great on the business side of it. They don't want to answer emails. They don't want to be getting the text messages at 2 in the morning. Um, and they really want the camaraderie. So, I mean, the camaraderie of having an awesome team of DJs that you can bounce stuff off of and get together regularly and, swap, horror stories of, different events. And that's really what draws a lot of people in. And so just over the years, a lot of the single ops have just kind of the ones that have stayed around have been absorbed into Epic, and now some of them are starting to go into Kramer as well.
So kind of off that question or that answer, David asked earlier in the chat about kind of the structure on the admin side, employees in the company. So like, do you have like an admin person, an equipment person, salespeople? What all you got that's running everything right now?
So yeah, we have a CEO, a CFO, a sales. We have a couple sales.
What's your
We
role?
have
What's your title?
CEO.
Okay.
We have we have an HR person that's dedicated just to HR.
Oh, wow.
And then everyone else, we have one warehouse manager, everyone else. So we have 35, 36 employees total. And I would say 28 of them or so are part-time. It's their side hustle, which is how that's how we position it when they come into interview. Like, this is the ultimate side hustle. This is
That's what I tell
the
people
most
too.
fun side hustle,
Yep.
And honestly, I'll tell you what, if it's a side hustle for someone, it's treated different. You get a different type of employee looking for a side hustle than you do when it's their only job. So if I get someone who's got a job at wherever, they're an engineer for some tech company or something, and they've got 3 kids and a wife, and they want to make some extra cheese on the side on the weekends, and we can supply that person's going to treat the job differently than a 22-year-old college kid that doesn't really have any responsibilities. This is his only responsibility, his or her only responsibility. So someone that's pretty established in life, we really like having those people.
I like so I have we'll say like maybe 5 to 10, somewhere in that ballpark, of only job, full time. They're technically no one's full time because I don't even know how you achieve full time DJing. But yes, it's their only job. And then everyone after that is just very part time, and those are the people that we aim for is a substitute teacher or something that just wants that Saturday extra money and whatnot. But it's like, oh, well, I can take 30 of y'all on, but I can only take maybe 10 dudes that want to work every fucking day, because weekdays and slow times, you can only, have so many gigs. So I agree with you on that.
Are any of your guys the sales and CFO? Are any of them also DJs, warehouse manager?
So sales, yes. So we do have two positions that are completely what's the term I'm thinking of? Not non-productive, but like non-profitable.
Like an HR dude.
We have an HR manager. Mm-hmm. Yeah, our HR manager is completely not profitable. She
actually makes you anti-profit.
Well, kind of. I mean,
she's strictly cost.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And so, and then our CFO is the same way. He doesn't have anything to do with, if you asked him about setting up a controller or something, he'd be like, what's a controller?
Mm-hmm. What is the CFO?
So financial.
Chief Financial Officer.
Oh.
So I'm curious, is your CFO an accountant as well?
No, we have an accountant. We have an accountant in a bookkeeping company, but so our bookkeeper works for our accountant.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. So it's just a service that they offer. So we don't do any of that stuff in house.
So now I'm curious, what does your CFO do?
He does all of our projections for us, keeps up all of our KPIs for us, manages our budgets for us. So every department has their own budget, and every department manager is responsible for their P&L for their department. So he makes sure that between him and HR and a little bit of our bookkeeper, those ones really make sure that everyone is spending where they're allowed to spend and not spending more than they're allowed to spend.
Gotcha. You remember how you had someone stealing from you? I can't remember.
I do remember that.
Of course. Well, yeah. How long ago has that been? It's been a long time now.
Yeah, it's been 5 years now, 6 years.
Damn. I thought, well, whatever.
It was right before COVID.
Your CFO, did he point that out? Was he like, well, there's a huge hole in Pam's or whatever the fucking girl's name is salary? Yeah. It's like, well, we pay her $40 an hour, but she made $400,000. I don't know how that happened. It's like there's like a discrepancy here.
Yeah, I mean that's
not a subtle one either.
Yeah, the type of people who do that kind of stuff is, I've learned a lot about it, but I mean, in a nutshell, for anyone who doesn't know that's listening to this, basically we got embezzled in 2020 is when all the actual embezzlement happened.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So I guess that's only 4 years ago.
Yeah, but I was gonna say it had to be.
It's a great year to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and basically the way that she did it was through our payroll system, and it wasn't we didn't have a CFO. She was our controller. So a controller is a little bit different than a CFO. The controller did everything money related for us. So she paid our bills, she cut our checks, she ran payroll for us, she made payments for us and stuff. So she did like what a bookkeeper would do, a little bit of what a CFO would do, and a little bit of what an accountant would do. And then we would send that information to the accountant. But the way that we found out was, and this just kind of goes to the thought process of someone who thinks like that does something like that, because she seriously thought that she would never get caught. So much so that she asked me to help her with doing some reconciling at the end of 2020, because we found out on December 19th that that she had been stealing. And she said, I need some help. Can you jump in QuickBooks and help me? So I'm literally looking at exactly everything that she was doing, and she thought that I wasn't going to put two and two together.
That's crazy. Oh, that's insanity.
That's funny.
It's just such an arrogant, narcissistic, like thought, way of thinking. Like, I'm going to put this right in front of their face, and he's never going to, he'll
even see
he
it.
still won't see it. Yeah.
Yeah, he's too stupid
So-
to figure that out.
Yeah.
How much did she get?
I mean,
how much
she
did she
is kind of.
embezzle?
It is fair for her to think that I was probably too stupid, but
Yeah.
Hey, playing stupider than what you actually are is a very big benefit in a company.
My
as
wife,
a head.
My wife always says that I am the dumbest smart person that she knows, and it's always like, what the fuck does that mean?
I can agree with that statement.
I'm always like, bitch.
After being your friend for a while now, I can agree with that statement heavily. You are the smartest
Wow.
dumb person I
Gee.
know.
Huh. Anyways, how much did she?
so she ended up taking $151,000.
But you sued
Over
her for it.
151,000.
Did you?
No, the district attorney still has the case, so they haven't. So here's kind of the weird thing. The weird little technical thing about that particular deal was that we didn't just have 150 laying around, just
Right.
like happen to have it. It was all PPP money that she took.
Oh.
But what that means is that she didn't just steal from me.
Right. She stole from the
Eric,
man.
and she stole from Rick, and she stole from everyone, which
Joe
makes it a federal
motherfucking Biden.
offense.
She stole from the IRS, basically.
Yeah.
Well, and that makes it federal. So now, they really want to make sure that she does some time, even though she probably won't do time. But
They're gonna
that's
like,
what they
whip
want.
her though.
Jesus Christ.
Like, we
That's
really
crazy.
don't like you though.
I saw a thing.
They're like, we're gonna. It's like, I know that we can't like do this and that, but like we're gonna try.
I saw- yeah.
bitch.
Yep.
I saw another thing on it. I'm on Instagram all the time looking at reels and shit. And there was a lawyer that popped up and he's like, if there's a W-9 that owes you money, like if say I owed you money for photo booths, you would just send me a W-9C, which basically is reporting a debt that I owe you to the IRS and therefore is taxable event. So they're going to come after me for the taxes on the money I owe you.
But you never collect that money.
Yeah.
Or-
So say I owe Eric $1,000, and if I actually paid him $1,000, he would send me a W-9 or a 1099 or whatever the fuck it is at the end of the year. That basically he accepted $1,000 from me. If I never pay him, he could send me a W-9C, which basically says I owe him $1,000. I never got it, so therefore I'm reporting that he owes taxes because that money would eventually be profit for him.
So it's the opposite though.
Yeah, it's the opposite.
It's so like a W-9 would do that to me
Correct.
versus.
yeah,
Okay.
that's interesting.
It's very interesting.
Hey, that's good. I mean, it.
So I'm gonna talk with Andy about it. I got on my list of Andy questions. What is a W-9C to let him explain this further to me, or I'll hit up one of our lawyers.
The whole.
Or you can just make sure that you collect payment.
That's also true, but basically the dude was saying if you have pesky people that you work with, like a shitty person that never pays you, just send them a W-9C, and then the IRS will shit down on them.
Yeah.
But we're in such a cool industry because we literally have a saying with our sales guys: no dough, no show. Like, they don't pay up, someone's not showing up.
Yeah. What the fuck was I about to just say that you were just talking about?
Andy, IRS.
Oh, the W. Okay,
taxes.
yeah. So the looming
Buzzwords.
the forever conversation of W-2 versus 1099, blah blah blah. To each their own and whatnot. But like my CPA verbatim said, don't do employees anymore. Flip them all to 1099. That's what you're supposed to be doing. And I was like, sounds good. You know what I mean? Like, I don't fucking know anything about this, so I'm gonna thumbs that up because you it's your job to do that. You know what I mean? You're the person who tells me shit like that.
Yeah.
But
So
they were 1099, then they went to W-2.
Other way
and they're
around.
Going back to
they were on
1099.
W2.
They were never I started the first 2 years or something, and it was all W-2 employees, and since then, now we're all 1099 employees.
I'll bring you a cake in prison.
Yeah.
I was about to say they won't fly at all in California.
Oh,
they don't give a shit.
in California, no, that wouldn't, not even close. But like, plenty of people do like that. You know, it's not necessarily like a fact. You know what I mean?
I tell you what,
I'm not saying do it the way I just said or do anything. I'm just saying that it's not a fact. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I need to find the term for it, but we signed up in October with Insparity, which is basically like they're a corporation that now our company is also part of their corporation, so therefore it gives us access to bigger beneficial stuff on benefit side, like a bigger buying power. So technically our employees are owned by us and by them now. Mm-hmm. And it has been the biggest headache ever of them going through and scrutinizing the legality of like everything we are fucking doing. Like how we're paying employees. Like they're all W-2 employees, but because they're part-time, but they only get commission and whatever, you know, they only get what they get for that event. And it's like been a headache and a half. He's like, well, you can't do it the way you're doing it. I'm like, well, then tell me how I can do it. Well, there's a couple and like, it's been just a pain in the ass of like, can I just tell you how much I want to pay them, please? Like ADP, when we did them, it was literally just enter the amount, send.
Yeah.
It was simple.
Anthony, you use Gusto.
Yeah, but ADP has no responsibility at the end of the day on why or how you're paying
Correct.
whatever.
Correct.
They're just going to turn around and point the finger back at you and say, Rick told me to pay him this much.
When you insert the stuff on Gusto, do you divide it into hourly?
100%.
That's
Yeah,
how you do it?
That's what
They
my
have to
dude
clock
told me.
in. So they clock in, and when they get there, they load up their gear. They go do the event. They come back. They clock out. They do their end of event form. And then we do what's called a piece rate or a flat rate. You know, like basically this DJ is getting $600 to do this event, right? Mm-hmm. We tell them ahead of time, you're getting $600 to do this event. So they're hourly, which is minimum wage, and minimum wage in California. Well, not minimum.
What is it, like 95 an hour now?
Yeah, I think it's $15.50 an hour right now, but our guys are set at 17 an hour. So it's at 17 an hour. So for them to do 17 an hour to get to $600, even in double, triple overtime, would be like 2.5 days of work or something crazy. So the piece rate covers it every single time. But yes, we do have to break it down on their paycheck to show that they're clocking in, they're clocking out, they had the ability to take breaks, they had the ability to take lunch breaks.
What kind of fucking bullshit?
This is what I'm going through right now. Trust me, this is literally what I'm going through. And I was talking to Mary about it at Giza Collective, and she was telling me the same shit. And she was saying that she does basically what Anthony's saying, only because then the employee can't come back and say that they're getting a weird hourly rate or something, like they should be paid more for their hourly. That's what she was
I'll
bringing
guarantee
up.
Yeah, like
overtime.
Like a litigator, if someone you piss off an employee walks away, right? And they're like, I want to screw those guys because they really ticked me off. Wrongful termination, that's never going to fly. All this stuff is not going to fly, but you know what will? Payroll stuff. Mm-hmm. If they didn't clock out for every single break and they didn't get paid out every single time that they didn't clock out when they hit the 5.5 hour mark, that because it's so so black and white and easy to track, it's very easy for a lawyer to say, we'll go back on that company and we'll get them for this instead, because it's too sticky to try to get them on this other, whatever you want to try to get them on, wrongful termination or cause or whatever. Mm-hmm. But payroll scenarios, easy. And you know what? The company will lose all day, every day, 110% of the time.
That's what Mary was saying, that she got into multiple times where her employee left, basically did something about payroll, whatever, on the back end and got fucked multiple times.
I'm not saying that it never happened to me, but I've heard a handful of instances where Mary's employees are coming after her in some kind of angry way. Like, I don't know what the fuck, but because Mary's nice as shit. Mary's like a homie, so I don't really understand all that.
I would say she's like you a little bit in the sarcasm
She's
area.
very nice to me.
Well, I'm just saying.
I like Mary.
Well,
I don't know about
you both
everyone
have
else.
the same talk. You're a sarcastic asshole.
Yeah,
and
right.
she has the same tone and talk sometimes as
Yeah,
well.
right.
So I can see where that leads, especially when you have a bunch of female DJs.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Her company is legit, though.
It
Her
is.
company is.
very fucking legit. She was explaining the back end of like what all they do and everything to make like payroll and all that, and I was like, you're blowing my mind because I've never thought about this shit.
Yeah, I honestly, her seminar where you didn't go to DJ Collective this year, did you?
No, I didn't.
Her seminar, which was about what we're talking about, and then like just other shit that she got fucked over and what she does now to not get fucked over. But I don't remember any of the instructions. I don't feel like she actually gave you this is what you literally do, but like just kind of told the story. And I need to hit Mary up and be like, all right, now I need the actual checklist of what.
So she had some good stories.
You know what I mean? It was just a story in the end. Unless I just turned my brain off, which I don't think.
The only real thing she had in there was like a checklist of like W-2 versus W-9 and what you have to have in place to do either or. And like at the top of it, it literally said, if you are in California, you're W-2, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Moving on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would agree with that statement.
It's like the one state right now, and New York's another one. New York, New Jersey is getting that way too.
Well, damn. I guess W2 your fucks, whatever. It just sucks because it's so much more expensive. It's like is the IRS like mad at us or something for owning businesses? I just don't understand. Like, I was looking at my taxes and I paid 35% in taxes last year. Like, what the fuck?
That's it, dude.
What do you mean that's it? 35%?
Well, you have W-9 employees. That's why I'm saying that.
But I'm saying 35% on income tax. That's nuts.
On which portion?
What do you mean?
The S corp. You pay taxes. You pay a different percentage on your W-2 than you do on the business profit. You're probably getting taxed at 40+% on your W-2, and your W-9 or the business profit's probably getting taxed about 25%.
Maybe. I don't know. I regret saying.
So
Are you an S corp or are you an LLC?
S corp.
S corp.
Yeah. LLC that files is S corp though.
Oh, you're a sub S. Yeah.
You're an S corp basically.
Yeah.
You're not a true corporation, but you are an S corp. Filing.
I regret saying what I said. I didn't say it. Everyone just be like, I forgot.
See, this is what I was
Quit
talking
asking
about.
me questions. I don't
Smartest
know.
dumb person.
I don't fucking know what I'm talking about all of a sudden. I regret it.
You got to go back to Blinkist and listen to some more blinks on taxes.
I fell off of Blinkist. Ever since I talked about it, I was just like, I don't want to listen more.
I haven't listened to one in a few months, to be honest.
I go through Blinkist phases where I'll listen to like 55 million audiobooks and then I turn it off for a year.
I think January, February, I'll start listening to them again. Right now, I'm like in a big rush.
It is kind of when I'm in grind mode. You know, I'm like, oh, I'm going to start a new company and add photography and all this shit like that. I'm like, yeah, let's listen to an audiobook. You know, what's the future for Epic Entertainment? Is Epic Entertainment? Yeah.
Yeah. 2024.
Yeah, we're
what are you
doing. So our expansion model has been to go in and organically grow, and we've got a new model out that is gonna hopefully get us to expand faster, because we have realized that in our market specifically, there's only so many weddings, and if we're doing 1,000 weddings, our competition's doing probably 600 or 700 weddings, and then the single ops are doing another 400 or 500 weddings between them. Um,
There's only so many left.
there's only so much you can do. So um, we need to pick up pick up more weddings. And we've tried doing other things, live sound, and the live streaming has done really well for us. We still do a fair amount of live streaming, but it's not like our main. We've done a lot of things that aren't our main thing, and we just realized that we are really good wedding DJs, and that is just where we thrive. That is our spot. That's our lane. And so we're gonna work in that lane. We're not gonna try to add.
What's your
like you were
alternate
saying.
approach, though? Like,
Where's the top secret?
Yeah,
Well,
it's top secret.
is it? All right.
You're opening a budget brand.
No, we do
To
have
undercut
a budget
everybody.
Um,
we do have a budget brand that actually works. I love it. Our guys get to train under it, and it's the best thing ever. Because if they screw up, like we've set the bar so low for them, that usually the emails and the phone calls we get afterwards were like, I can't believe that was a new guy. Like he was so good,
yeah,
And
it's the opposite problem.
yeah, yeah, because we really, really tell them like, look,
This
we're
guy
completely
sucks.
booked up on October, whatever, right? Like all of October is booked solid already. But I have this other guy that's brand new. He might have done 2 weddings or something, and he's good. He's trying to become an epic DJ, but he needs real life experience. So if that's okay with you, we'll charge you half the price, and he gets to go out and learn in a real live atmosphere that's totally different than learning in a warehouse. And they get their expectations exceeded, because we really tell them like, they haven't done a ton of mic work. Their mixing might kind of sound like shoes in a dryer, but they're trying. And then they come back and they're like, oh my gosh, she was so good. And because those guys really are trying to make it to the next level. Whereas our guys that already know they're good, they already know they're good, so they're like, not that they're not trying, but they've made it already.
Yeah. Yeah, I do like the budget brand as like a training ground, basically. Next year, one of my goals is to just, because I kind of got rid of all camaraderie, right? Like just the way it's all set up. I really, really leaned into remote, just across the board, and that's a mistake. It's worked for the short period of time, but that was a mistake, I think. And just to get the dudes together. It just we'll start there, and then we'll go from there. I think that would be really healthy.
That's literally our HR director's number one directive, is to make our DJs and employees' lives better.
Yeah,
that
right.
is her number one directive, and that includes a lot of that kind of stuff. Like we took all of our employees down to this go-kart racing place, and we spent the whole day go-kart racing and stuff. We're taking I'm a huge Disneyland nerd. So we're taking one of our employees that's been with us for 3 or 4 years, taking him down to Disneyland in a couple weeks, going to spend a couple days at Disneyland with him. But she kind of puts all that stuff together for us and kind of designs it and does like our company picnic in the summer. And aside from the other stuff, she processes payroll, and she makes sure that people are clocking in, and she makes sure people are taking breaks. But really her number one directive is to make sure that we are making people's lives better and easier. That's really her main reason for being at our company.
So I assume you assign her a budget for like events throughout the year and stuff.
CFO does.
What?
I said the CFO does, right?
Whatever.
Well, yeah, the CFO manages it. Yeah.
Is there like a set? Because I've heard David Osborne, he has a 1% fun account, So 1% of all, I think it's revenue goes into like this fun account for them to do fun shit with.
Yeah. I mean, that's what she's got essentially, but it's not a certain percentage. It's just like, hey, for the company holiday party in January, you've got $3,500. I don't know what percentage that makes up, of our income, but she definitely has a budget. When we did the go-kart racing, she had to rent buses and stuff. So she had a budget for that. But yeah, we don't just let her
Spend willy freely.
buck wild.
Yeah. That's actually so like budgeting is one of the biggest things that I need to wrangle for 2024, because like we kind of do that. we just
I'll tell you,
we just spend
so
and make sure we're profiting.
Yeah, and I talked to a lot of people about that specifically, and this is just my personal advice on this, is the biggest piece of advice on managing to a budget is forget about what your bank account says. Don't log into your bank account before you make a purchase. Pull up your budget first. Look at your budget.
Yep.
And but budgeting your expenses also means that you've budgeted your income as well, right?
Yep.
So if you're meeting your income budgets and you're meeting your cost of goods and your expenses budgets, then everything should fall in line, and it really shouldn't matter what's in your bank account, because it will fall into place.
Yep.
But so many guys or gals or DJs or whatever just log into their bank account, say, look, I got an extra $1,500. I'm going to go buy a controller because I can afford it and I can write it off. And that's just not the way to.
God, I could go all day about
Oh,
that.
you're gonna love our ads then.
I could go all day. Oh no,
because we're pushing them to do that.
Well,
to write it off.
Write it off.
Yeah, you can
buy new uplights today. You could write them off. Uncle Sam's coming for you.
Hey, honestly,
are you gonna have that? Are you gonna have one of those guys talk really fast at the end with all the like legal jargon? Like,
yeah,
we're not licensing you. You can't sue us and blah, blah, blah,
Right. That would be super funny.
No, you got me writing an ad. I'm telling Dom right now to write an ad for that.
It's like, you better not use the fucking sing button. If you do, you're a little bitch. And
nah, but
I couldn't think of anything else, so I had to end with
like on your. But like back on what you're saying, like my biggest, like this year I was very big on writing out our projections, writing out where we're going to be spending our money, etc. But like sticking to, well, I would say we've taken on a lot of new shit in the last month that we've just been spending a lot of money. Like we just moved from not having a warehouse to now having a warehouse. We moved out of our storage units, so we had to buy paint. We had to do this little thing. We had to buy new benches, more storage racks, and it's just been a lot of fucking money's been poured into this shit. But it's all good spend in terms of it's all necessity things that the team needs to thrive. Like we're outfitting their offices, getting their offices set up now that they're actually going to have dedicated offices, building camaraderie, that sort of stuff. So it's fun.
Yeah, I mean, when you're in growth mode, you're going to be spending a lot of money.
Yeah,
but
that's exactly where we're at.
Then you eventually shift from just growing to growing your profit.
Just grabbing that cash, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's
there's different sectors for that, certain ones, but yeah. That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
That's all she wrote.
Anthony, if people would like to connect with you, where would you prefer them to go?
They can email me at anthony@epicentertainmentslo.com.
Subject line: free nudes.
Yeah, canceled.
Free nudes canceled.
If you put in the subject line, add 3 inches, I'll probably open it up.
Right. Yeah. Please, I'll try anything. I'll do anything.
Just don't even look at it. Hit the reply button, please.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, this is great. Thanks, Anthony, for being on here tonight, being our last minute guest edition. I think this was a great podcast. Me and Eric will be back on next week without a guest.
Without a guest, yeah.
Yes, it'll just be you and me chatting it up. So if you guys got any questions next week for specifically me or Eric about all the shit we're getting into or 2024, we'll probably talk about 2024. I don't know. 2024. But that'll be our last podcast before the new year. We're going to be taking 2 weeks off for Christmas and New Year's, and then we'll be back January 9th. Yes.
The 9th we will be back.
With a guest that's to be determined. Oh, look at the lights shut off again. Perfect timing.
Perfect timing.
Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. If you're listening, you can watch this on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you can also listen to this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you can basically find it. You can go search for the DJ Life Podcast. And thanks to everyone for sending us your top podcast on Spotify was the DJ Life Podcast.
Yeah,
I saw that all over.
And tagging Rick Weber every time.
And
You didn't
not
tag
Eric.
me, not once, but you tagged Rick every time. So it's a start.
So, yes.
Shout out to shout out to Cambridge football.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out. Oh,
Whatever
sure.
that is.
It says Cambridge football. That was my high school. What was I thinking about? You should just change your @name to the dude in glasses.
Yeah, I might have
And then
to.
maybe people can tag you.
Maybe people will be like,
'Cause they
I
can't-
know that guy.
They don't know
now."
how to spell your last name, I think is the problem.
There's like this time, on this podcast, it was like one of the very first episodes, one of the comments goes, "Who's the dude in glasses? Tell him to shut the fuck up."
We had Bar.
Like,
We had
this is my podcast, you bitch.
we had Bar. It was Bar was on here and
It was like one of Bar's little.
yeah, it was one of
people or
Bar's
whatever.
like fanboys or whatever, and Bar was literally having a conversation with Eric about like DJP, and he's the expert, and he was sort of cutting him off, but like he's the expert telling the facts, and the dude's like, "Will you tell him to quit cutting Bar off? He's cutting Bar off constantly. The dude in glasses needs to shut the fuck up."
That's where the dude in glasses came from. But,
Good story.
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week. Peace out.